Hey everybody, today we're talking about for sale by owner versus listing your property for sale with a real estate professional. So over the last couple of days, I've been a part of some healthy dialogue in regards to these two different strategies. And it became really clear to me that there is some misunderstanding or just lack of knowledge on what a real estate professional's role is in a real estate transaction. And so I want to take today to clarify that for sellers. I want to start by saying for sale by owner is not a new strategy. People have been doing this forever, but in a hot seller's market like we're in now, you will see spikes to people deciding that they're just going to list their home on their own. And for sale by owner can work. So I'm not here today to dispute that. What I am here hopefully today to do is to provide some clarity on what sellers are missing out on if they decide to go the for sale by owner route. So there are 101 reasons I could go through today, and I'm really going to stick to 5. These to me are the major assets and value that I bring to my clients when they go to sell their property. Number 1, I can only speak for myself because not all real estate professionals have access to the MLS, the multiple listing services. Many of them do. The multiple listing service is a national, regional, local database that houses years and years and years of statistics and analytics and housing criteria and public record information. It's a wonderful resource for real estate professionals who opt in to have it. And it's a resource that you can't get unless you have access to the MLS. And so as a seller going for sell by owner, you're not armed with those data points and analytics. So I'll give you a practical example. You list your home for $300,000. A buyer's agent brings you a buyer and a contract for $250,000. The buyer's agent tells you, this is what your market's selling for. This is what we believe your house is worth and valued at compared to everyone else. Well, as a for sale by owner seller, you are armed with nothing to negotiate that contract. You have nothing factual, no factual data points, no analytics. That is something that a real estate professional with MLS access would bring to the table, therefore, to help you negotiate that particular offer price. The second thing is contract knowledge. The contract is no less than 13 pages long. A normal listing right now is getting anywhere from 4 to 10 contracts per listing because the inventory is so low again and the market is so hot. So you're going to be sitting in front of pages and pages and pages of legal documents that you likely will not be able to decipher. There are some components of a real estate contract that stick out to me that I want to call out as being practical things that you're going to have to address that you likely will not know how to in a for sale by owner situation. Number 1, the inspection survey repair addendum. The buyer has a right to request your home to be inspected. There are timelines to this. They have 10 days to do that. You have 5 days as a seller to respond to their request. If you don't respond to their request in time, then there are complications that could be put forth in the contract. And so not understanding something like a IRSA or an inspection survey repair addendum is a big gap in your level of understanding on how to get through the contract and the process. Another one is non-refundable deposit. Say you have 10 contracts presented on your house, 4 of them are offering you a non-refundable deposit, but each of those non-refundable deposits come due at a different time within the transaction process timeline. What do you do with that? How do you know when they owe you the money? How do they know how you want them to pay you the money? How do you know when you owe them the money back? Okay, so these are things that a real estate professional is going to help you navigate through, but as a for sale by owner, you're not going to have a clue. Third, process timeline. So I've just given you some examples of process. So generally from signed offer to closing, which is when title transfers and payment occurs, is about 30 to 45 days on average. And so there are multiple things within that 30 to 45 days that are required to happen or need to happen or should happen between the buyer and the seller. There are different roles and responsibilities in that timeline. A real estate professional is in a position to help you manage those target dates, manage the process. If you're going for sell by owner, that is all on you. And so again, back to understanding the contract, when this is due, it is a project and there is some management that comes along with that. And if you are not able to connect those dots, it could be made much more complicated for you. And you could frankly miss some things that would impact the transaction. Fourth is safety. So again, I'm going to speak for myself because not all real estate professionals use third-party services for home tours, setting home tours up, providing lock boxes on the door. Some use codes. I use lockbox system. And one of the reasons I do that is for safety. I always know, because I use an electronic lockbox, who has signed in to enter your home and how long they were there and when they left. And so if there's any issues whatsoever, I have that detail to actually go back and then address any concerns that you would have during the showing process. Certainly during the pandemic, safety protocols have been increased while touring homes. And so having a professional there to manage those expectations has been huge for sellers and buyers over the last 12 months. And so safety is number 4. It's a big one for me. And number 5 is ethics and integrity. So as a licensed real estate professional, as a realtor, I have taken an oath to, from start to finish, manage the transaction with the utmost respect, ethics, and integrity, keeping my client's best interest at the forefront at all times. And so that is not something to take lightly. So that would be the 4th one, but to me, it is the absolute most important one. I think it doesn't matter, in closing, to me, it doesn't matter how hot the market is. No one, including a seller, including a lender, including a title company, including an attorney, no one can replace the role that a real estate licensed professional provides in a real estate contract. There will be so many transactions where all those roles I just mentioned act as interdependencies for one another. I love my transaction or my title partners. I love my lender partners. I have great relationships with these folks. But each of us individually brings something very different to the transaction table. As a seller, I think one of the things you're in a position to do when you decide to sell your home is, one, it's a life-changing decision. So you can either go for sell by owner and to some degree leave the end result up to the honor system and hope that it works out because you don't have as much tools, resources, or information at your disposal. Or you can choose to pay the commission to a real estate professional and make sure there are no gaps in your process. Make sure that by the end of the transaction, you are pleased with the outcome. They help with, again, the information that you need, the knowledge that you need, the confidence that you need. It is worth it. So again, not here to advocate not to do for sell by owner, but just wanted to take some time today to provide some clarity to what a real estate partner does bring to the transaction and to you personally as a seller. If you have any additional questions about this, I'd love to just sit down with anyone who's considering selling their house and let's just consult over for sell by owner versus going with me or another real estate professional. To me, education is critically important, whether you choose me or whether you don't. But anyway, again, my name is Willa Ball. I am a realtor with Smith & Associates Real Estate. I also own Pedigree Properties, which is a residential leasing company here in Northwest Arkansas, and big focus on education today. If you have any questions about this or want to sit down and visit over coffee, I'd love to do that. 479-644-9395, or you can email me at willaballrealtor@gmail.com. Thank you.